Hello, Dan Holder, Principal at Liberty Middle School. Excited to talk to you about some of our first days of school and excited to be here working with you and your learners. One of the experiences on the first days of school is the parking lot. Quite a number of our families want to share an experience with their learner that morning, drop them off at school, and share that moment together as a family. It's a wonderful thing and we're really excited about it. We just want to make sure that we can communicate together to make sure that that is a safe, efficient, and welcoming experience for you and your family. You can imagine that our parking lot is well designed to handle a lot of traffic. It's not well designed to handle the amount of traffic that we experience on those first days of school with so many additional learners that are getting dropped off by their parents. So we're just going to need to communicate very well with each other and work together to make sure that we can experience this together in a safe, efficient, and welcoming way. The first area we want to talk about in our parking lot is the entrance. We actually can have 2 lanes of cars entering our entrance at the same time. So if you're traveling west on 36th Avenue, you can turn right and stay close to that edge, and that will allow other people to enter into our parking lot at the same time as you are turning in there. The other thing that happens at this portion of our parking lot is that when the light turns red on Veterans, some people will stop in the middle of this intersection and block the entrance while that light is red. And now we have cars that are backing up onto Veterans for us. So let's try not to block that entrance and let's try and use 2 lanes as we come into the parking lot. Once you've entered our parking lot, you're going to bring your learner to one of these drop-off zones that are marked with the blue rectangles on this map. When you get to one of these drop-off zones, especially the one that's closest to the building, you're going to pull all the way to the front of that drop-off zone as close as you can get so that you kind of load that entire drop-off zone with a series of cars, and then all of those cars drop off their learners at the same time, and then all of those cars exit out of that drop-off zone. It's really important that we do that because when other learners are dropped off in other portions of our parking lot, they will be crossing through lanes of traffic and competing with cars for that space, and that's very unsafe. So we want to avoid that. We only want to drop learners off in the blue drop-off zones. I want to draw your attention briefly to the yellow rectangle in the middle of this picture. The yellow rectangle is the crosswalk in the middle of our parking lot. It goes right up to the front door. So we want all of our learners before school and after school to use the crosswalk when they need to go from one side of the parking lot to the other. So now you've dropped off your learner and you're going to begin exiting our parking lot. The road that exits our parking lot actually has 2 lanes. So these 2 lanes that entered our parking lot can now come close together, but they don't need to merge with each other into one lane. They can remain as 2 lanes. So those that dropped off their learners closest to the building, they're going to stay closest to the building on that side of that road. And those that dropped off at the end of the crosswalk are going to come into a parallel lane right next to those other cars, and they're going to continue down that same road. So it's important that we make space for those 2 lanes to occur in that road so we can get as many cars out as possible. Now what we're looking at here is the very end of our exit road, and those 2 lanes are going to continue all the way down that exit road, and you can only turn right from the right-hand lane, you can only turn left from the left-hand lane. It's important to note that if we do get backed up around the building and the traffic gets gridlocked, we will ask everybody in this exit lane to turn left, which is south on 7th Street, and you'll make your way down to 40th Avenue, and then you can decide from there what your best route is to your next destination. But if we do get backed up, we'll ask everybody to turn left out of this lane, south on 7th Street, to make your way to 40th Avenue. One last note here, we have a bus loop and a staff parking lot on the northwest side of the building. It's indicated on the map with a red X. Parents are not allowed to drop their learners off in the bus loop or staff parking lot. They are only allowed to use the parking lot on the east side of the building. All right, well, thanks for taking the time to watch this video and to learn how to best use the Liberty Middle School parking lot on these first days of school. This is how we're going to get the safest, most efficient, and most welcoming experience for as many families as possible on these first days of school. So thank you for supporting your learners. We're excited to see you. We're excited to see your learners on these first days of school. This is going to be a great year.